I'm pleased to say I'm joined by one of the finalists in this year's PDC World Youth Championship, Joe Davis. Thanks for joining us, Joe. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. All good, thanks.
Now, we had you on the show in the summer as part of our Riley's Lockdown Challenge with our colleague Matthew Kiernan. You said the first darts-related thing you would do post-lockdown is enter the first competition you could. Was it the development tour last Friday, or did you manage to get any other events in before then?
I actually played one. It's one of Tom's cousins' comps in Hastings. So yeah, I did manage to find one just before the development.
Excellent. And you're a decorator by trade, as we know, and when the lockdown hit here in the UK, that put work completely on hold for you, didn't it?
Yeah. To be honest, I haven't worked since March. And obviously this is just all I've been doing is just practicing. I'm someone who's got to do something anyway. Putting practice in just seemed the most logical thing to do.
Yeah, you mentioned you decided to put your spare time into the darts, put it into the practice board. What motivated you to put more hours into darts, as you've been involved in darts on and off for more than a decade now?
Well, I had an interest from Tom, and he wanted to manage me, and I had other interests. People wanted to sponsor beginning of this year, and I'm one of these, like, if I'm going to agree to people like managing me and sponsoring me, I'm not going to just sit back and not give it my all. Because obviously in the past I've never really practiced and never really dedicated myself. So beginning of this year, I agreed to a few sponsorships and to Tom taking me on to manage me. So that was the main part really. So I knew as soon as I was agreeing to him, I needed to knuckle down and just give it my all, go to comps, practice, and just really give it a go.
And during the lockdown, it was darts online, which become really popular. Was that something that you got involved in quite a lot, or was it just practicing alone and working on things?
Yeah. I've done all the competitions. I was doing two a day at one point. There was loads going around. I think it was a really good thing for a lot of players because it kept their arm in at least. I found it a lot easier as well. I remember first going to a couple of comps and I'd done really bad, and then I didn't really like the thought of me doing bad and losing, so I carried on practicing and started winning a few of the online competitions, and so I decided to go in most of them that I could. I think it was a really good thing for a lot of players.
This year obviously has been a difficult one in terms of the darts. The calendar has been cut back a lot. The development tour, of course, we had that first weekend earlier on in the year, February, March time, and when you heard that it was coming back with 6 events in Barnsley this past weekend, how keen were you to sign up and get playing again? Yeah,
very keen. I've practiced for the last 4 or 5 months non-stop with this in the back of my mind, to be honest. I knew I'd probably be playing again this year. I knew kind of similar thing was going to happen. It was going to be a 6 events in one weekend, and then obviously the World Championships on the Monday. So yeah, I was really keen to just demonstrate what I've been doing on the practice board instead of going up there and not really knowing how well I'm playing just through lack of practice and playing.
So what was it like then turning up to Barnsley for the weekend, playing in those 6 events, the long break that we had, and playing under that PDC environment again?
Yeah, it was the same old. It was weird with everything going on. You've got to remember your face masks and your distance. That was the weird side of it. The comps and the venue I can't fault at all. I think they've done really well. With everything they've dealt with, I can't fault any sort of competition. We all kind of knew what we were signing up for anyway before we was going to play the development this time round. We knew it was always going to be weird feeling. The best thing you've got to do is just first comp Friday, hopefully just play well and maybe have a good run, and I think that settles you in for the rest of the weekends.
And you did have a couple of good runs, a final on the Saturday, a quarter-final on the Sunday. How were you feeling then going into that World Youth Championship on the Monday?
I was feeling okay. I wasn't playing my best, definitely not. I thought Friday I played my best darts, and I didn't really do that well. I think I got to the last 32 and the last 64, and I thought that was my best day. Saturday to reach the final, bit of a shame I didn't win the final, but played Ted, great plays, he's always going to be tricky to beat. It was nice to have a weekend where, you know, I just didn't make a final and then lose first round. The rest of it was nice to actually play consistent, which by my averages is what I've shown. Like, I was hitting a lot of 90 pluses, and even I had a couple of bad games, but regardless from that, you know, it was 90 pluses, you know, a few 85s in there as well.
Looking at your run on Monday then to the final, it's a highlight of it, I suppose, is how you could run off 3 or 4 legs in a row to come from behind. Jack Main, you were 3-2 down, you win 6-3 in the last 32. You were 4-3 down to Brian Roman in the quarterfinals, come back and win 6-4, and then of course the big one in the semi-finals, 4-0 down against Jeffrey Desvane, and you pull it back to 4-all.
Yeah. I mean, I've always, I don't know, maybe it's a knack. I've always, I know I'm capable of coming from behind. I think, you know, if you're in front, you're more vulnerable of losing in a way, because if you've got someone coming at you and who's going to take the next 2 or 3 legs, then it's just going to make you, you know, lose control of the game, really. I've done it against Ted as well in the final on Saturday. I was 3-0 down, really out of the game, and even though I lost it, I think I won the next 3 legs, and he only ended up beating me 5-3, which he had to take out a bit to do that. I mean, this game, you know, in the next couple of legs, the game can change just dramatically, really. So he's just got to keep fighting.
And it certainly did. 118 checkout to bring it back to 4-2, 11 data to bring it back to 4-all. You had another ton plus checkout to make it 5-all, and then in the decider a 14 data to break. I know it's not a win that's got you a title yet, but beating a player that's in the top 32 in the world in that semi-final, is that one of the biggest wins of your career?
Yeah, definitely. 100%. I mean, I started off being really bad. I think nerves might have got a little bit better with me for some reason, because I don't really struggle, but I'm quite laid back. I'll just, you know, I'll go up there and I'll try my hardest, and that's all I can really do. But to beat Jeffrey, you know, it's defeat in itself. He did play his best game at all, and, you know, when you've got players like that who aren't playing their best, they're great players, you've got to take advantage.
Definitely, and you're through to the final against Bradley Brooks. It's going to be live on ITV at the end of November. We're not quite sure where it's going to be. We know it's not going to be in Minehead this year, unfortunately, but it's a big opportunity for both of you, a place in the World Championship at the end of the year up for grabs for the winner. How much are you looking forward to playing the final and having a shot at getting that place in the World Championship? Yeah,
really looking forward to it. I'm quite happy that it's late November and it's not like coming up soon. As you know, it gives me more chance to just get things sorted and get my practice routine like to what it should be, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to practice for that, and hopefully on the day it all comes together and I play well. That's all I can wish for, really.
And when you spoke to my colleague Matthew, as I mentioned earlier, you mentioned it was going to Ali Pali at 11 to watch a session at the World Championship, a classic game you mentioned as well between Raymond van Barneveld and Ronnie Baxter got you hooked into darts. So a chance to play there 12 years later, how special would that be?
Yeah, it's amazing just to think about that. It's a dream, isn't it? Like, for any kind of dart player who just picks up a dart and shows that commitment or enthusiasm to playing the World Championships or any event on TV, it's a dream. It's a feat. It's something you can always look back on. You know, there's going to be some disappointments, obviously, and what have you. But I think, you know, when it's all said and done, you've got to look back and see the achievements that you actually do.
And it won't be the first time that we've seen you on TV. I was at the Circus Tavern end of last year at the World Masters when you played live on Eurosport. Some great sportsmanship between yourself and Paul Hogan at the end. You were 2-0 up and unfortunately lost that one 3-2. But how much do you think that experience is going to help you next month when you do play in the final and on TV again? Yeah, I think it will do. It's a lot different, obviously, this time round, being in a World Youth final to being in a World Masters. And obviously he was there. It was a bit different, the venue. But I think for experience-wise, I think that could really help. You know, I'm more looking forward to the game with Brad rather than before when I was playing Paul
I was kind of a bit nervous rather than looking forward to it, I suppose, because obviously it's your first time on TV, and you kind of think about that. But this time round, I'm not really thinking about it. I'm just, I want to be Youth World Champion, and that's the goal I've got. So I'm looking forward to it.
And lastly, just in terms of senior darts, you won the Malta Open in November, semi-final in the Isle of Man just before the lockdown. You made some big strides in the last 12 months. Of course, you're going to be making your Grand Slam debut in November next year. But looking at a little bit further ahead, is Q School on the cards for you next year? What are the plans really going forward for next year?
Well, at this moment in time, Q School will be a definite. If I don't qualify for Q School, then Challenge Tour, that'll be a definite. The beauty of me now, I've got people probably backing me, who kind of, in a weird way, won't let me slip up. They won't let me, I haven't got time to be, neglecting practice or going to comps and things like that. I've got to be 100% these things. But regarding Q School, I think that's definitely on the cards. I think I want to do it. I think everybody around me wants me to do it. So yeah, January, I think Q School is a definite.
Excellent. Well, we wish you all the best for that when it comes around. But of course, congratulations again on making it through to the World Youth Final, and wish you all the best for the final next month when it comes around as well.
Lovely. Thank you very much.